dig into this a little deeper. Obviously, we've all written about it. We've all talked about it a lot. I mean, it's been kind of the big story of the year. Texas and OU bolting for the SEC. So I called it a cash grab in a column when it first happened. And obviously it makes a lot of sense for the Sooners and the Longhorns from a financial perspective, as well as stability and prestige. SEC ain't going anywhere. But that said, we also know that Texas hasn't exactly lit it up in recent years in terms of the win-loss record.
Come on, they won a title in 2009.
Yeah, that's true.
How'd you forget that, Brice?
They need to bring Colt McCoy back. He ain't walking through that door. So is this a zero-sum game for UT with unless Sark can get them, winning with a little more frequency?
Well, I understand why they went. Texas is very financially strapped. So they clearly need the money. So, I think a huge part of it is that Texas and Oklahoma both felt they carried the league. They carried the banner, at least in brand name and reputation. I think that was part of it. And just season ticket sales, I think, figured into it too. And I think Oklahoma's felt the same way. Well, we got Kansas coming in. Well, who you got next week? Well, West Virginia. It doesn't excite or electrify the fan base as A&M has found when you've got an Alabama coming in. And then next week you got Florida. Oh, in 2 weeks you got LSU. So it's about money. It's like you said, Brice, it's about stability. It's about exposure. It's like wanting to rub shoulders with the big crowd. They are the Joneses, remember? And even though they're not playing like the Joneses, off the field, they think they're the Joneses. So I hate it for all the relationships that we have in the Big 12 and with sports writers like you guys. And that's probably what I'll miss as much as anything. But
you're still going to be here? You're not retiring?
You never know. I said at the outset, we're day to day. I think Brice wants to retire, both of us said.
Pick a number.
So
get
in
line on that one. I think it's I think it's not hypocritical, but kind of sad that they say they want to go compete at a higher level, not even winning here in football, Texas. So you think you're gonna go win over there now? You're not. Right. Not for a while. So that's a money grab. That's about dollars. It's not about any kind of grandiose winning, romantic winning thing. Oh yeah, we can't. We're leaving, and now we're going to go beat Georgia and Alabama. Yeah, and Aggie. We're going to beat them consistently. It just come on. They could have stayed here another 25 years. And sure, the super conferences were going to come try to poach. But if they wanted to, Texas and OU could have stayed. And if Texas really wants to win a national football championship, they would have stayed in the Big 12, because all you got to do is beat Oklahoma. You're going to be in the conference championship game. You're good enough to beat OU. You're usually going to be good enough to win the Big 12. So the fans know. They may be pseudo excited about moving over to the SEC, but they know that it's a much bigger minefield now, and the chances of them winning a national championship have been diminished severely.
Yeah, I agree with you. In fact, I also feel like it doesn't make a lot of sense for OU either, just because obviously the Sooners have won. They've sort of dominated the Big 12 in recent years, and so you would think they'd go into the SEC and still be able to compete, and I do think they will. But at the same time, with this 12-team playoff coming, I think they could have stayed in the Big 12 and just rolled out of bed and been in the playoff every year. I mean,
I agree.
They're in it more often than not with a 4-team playoff. So
yeah, from the competitive standpoint, it doesn't make any sense at all.
Right.
It really didn't. I mean, OU's won 6 straight, and they're the only undefeated team in the Big 12 this year. So I don't know. Maybe Texas just dragged them along, and I don't know.
It seems like a weird marriage.
I gotta ask y'all about this. The esteemed Bob Bowlesby did not attend Texas OU. He was in Waco that day. Was that was it just some kind of thing where, you know, Waco, Dallas? Why wasn't he at the Texas OU game? Bitter much?
Yeah.
He had to go
Perhaps.
see the Texas Sports Hall of Fame, Cedric.
Yeah, no doubt.
I highly recommend. That's a nice spot. I highly
He
recommend.
even did a little media while he was here. It was yeah. And Bowlesby's rubbing, you know, he's rubbing shoulders with all the teams that stuck around. That's for sure. You know, I think he.
I'm
holds
not
the
mad at
grudge.
him.
Yeah,
I did write, and I know he's mad at me, but I did write. I go, if he was a stock car racer, we'd probably be calling him Richard Petty. But I don't think he liked that line.
He doesn't read us, Ed. He doesn't read us
That's
anymore.
great.
Oh, yes, he does. Yes, he does.